A saw is one of the most important tools in your bug out bag. They are quieter, safer, lighter weight, and require less energy and skill to use than an axe. This is not to say they should replace your axe, but it will complement it well. Wood is going to be essential for making shelters, getting firewood, creating structures, traps, and even making bows. For this reason, a saw should be one of the primary tools in your bug out bag. Now, one of the leaders in the field of outdoor saws is a company called Silky. They have the largest selection of hand saws in the market and are of the best quality construction available. I have used their saws religiously for the past 10 years. They make saws that are insanely sharp, they never need sharpening, they're incredibly tough, and they're built for hard work. The problem is that in spite of their success in the outdoor and bushcraft community, Silky has always built their saws for arborists. However, there is a new Outback series of saws that employ all of Silky's arborist technology and improve upon it to make the ultimate backwoods survival and preparedness saw. This Outback series of saws is going to be available for pre-order on CanadianPreparedness.com, and you can be one of the first people to get one of the toughest Silky saws ever built by checking out the description below. Now let's talk about the saws in more detail.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. So today we're testing out 3 new saws from Silky. These are the Outback variants of the Gomboy, the Pocketboy, and the Bigboy. So these are the old Silky saws, old folding saws. They don't have a composite handle. They have a rubberized handle, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. It's a non-slip grip. And the Bigboy comes with a variety of different teeth configurations. I would say they're definitely the best saws that you can find like this. Part of the problem with these saws is that they're made for arborists. They weren't initially made for the rugged outdoorsman, but regardless, because the saws are so good, many outdoor people like the saws and started using them outdoors. And as such, because outdoor activity can be a bit more rigorous, there was some issues with blades breaking on the Bigboy in particular. Not so much on the other saws, but it's part of the fact that there's just a longer surface area and, you know, the saw can only be so thick, right? Well, Silky decided to make an Outback variant of these saws, which is going to be more rugged and even more long-lasting. Now, I should say that the breaks in a Bigboy, like this Bigboy, as you can see, I've had this for over 6 years. I've never had to sharpen the teeth. The teeth are impulse hardened, meaning you're really never going to have to sharpen them. So these are pull saws, meaning that you're not pushing. Like a bow saw, you're cutting in both directions. This, if I go like this, it's not going to cut, but if I was to do it like that, it would dig right into my hand, tear my hand off. So I won't be doing that today. Okay, so based on what Silky is telling me, this may well be the ultimate survival saw. It's built tougher than its predecessors. It's made to be longer lasting, it's more rugged, and it has a nice composite outdoor woodsy like handle as opposed to the old yellow rubberized come find me type handle that they used on the old Silky Pocketboy, Gomboy, and all the other variants. Show you the packaging there. Silky has never done this before, where they've indicated that a saw was for the purpose of camping and hunting and for cutting bone. Even though all the saws could essentially do that, bone is just a harder material than wood, so you're going to want more teeth per inch. Okay, so that's why a hacksaw blade has so many tiny little teeth, because it's cutting steel, right? This could never cut steel because the teeth are too far apart. There's not enough teeth per inch. Maybe we're getting what, 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7 teeth per inch here. Okay, to cut steel, you would need many more teeth per inch. To cut bone, this might suffice, because obviously, you know, bone and wood are similar. It's similar to a hardwood, but you can't even get finer teeth than this for even harder woods, and Silky does have saws that have finer teeth, and you can also get different blades for this. So the blade here, as you can see, is just screw on, you know, a flathead screwdriver, and you can easily take that blade off, and if you wanted to, you could get extra blades with different teeth per inch settings. If you're cutting different types of wood, easily switch them out in like 30 seconds, no problem. and they're lightweight, easy to carry, and it doesn't hurt to have a backup blade anyways when you're out there in the sticks. So this is the case that they provide you with the Gomboy. I'm not a fan. It's got a belt loop on it. It's going to work to protect your saw. You're not going to have to worry about these saws rusting. I've done corrosion tests on them before, and these are even better than their predecessors. So makes easy work of it. So it's slightly thicker than the old Bigboy, and it has that nice black oxide finish. And it also is nickel plated, meaning it's going to be even stronger than the old Silky Saws. You have impulse hardened teeth, so you never have to sharpen it, and if you wanted to, you couldn't sharpen it. So it's just built to be a lot tougher. It's a little bit heavier. I believe it's a few ounces heavier than the old version. That's mostly in the handle, but a little bit in the blade also. I don't mind the composite handle. I mean, it's kind of like a really fine particle board almost, but really fine. And it's definitely going to gain wear over time. Might want to oil it or something to keep it from drying out and flaking and stuff, but it's pretty nice. It's got a nice feel to it. It's not going to be cold like a metal handle, and I think that's part of the reason why they went with composite, to have a warmer handle, especially in winter time. I don't know if it's that much warmer than rubber. Maybe it is. I don't know the science behind that. As you can see, the cutting power of it is second to none. And I actually am not a huge fan of the Bigboy platform because I prefer my pistol grip saws because they're just a little bit more ergonomic. The rifle grip like this, you can see that I'm using both hands, and that's what I like about the Bigboys. You can get two hands in there, and it just makes it easier because you can kind of push down a little bit, even though they say you're not supposed to push down on these saws, that the teeth are going to grip into it. And if you're pushing down and then you accidentally, push forward too hard, you could potentially break the blade. It's probably like, 0.1 millimeter thicker, but it definitely makes a difference in terms of the rigidity. It's not as floppy as the old Bigboys, which usually means that it's not going to cut as fast because the thicker the blade, the more friction. But there is a kerf there, and by that I mean that the teeth end is actually thicker than the spine, and that's so that the blade doesn't bind. So when this bottom end is thicker than this top end, which is narrower, when you're cutting down into the wood, you're not going to get a sticking problem up here. With other saws where it's all the same width all the way through the blade, that's where you get saws binding up and jamming up. And that's what happens with a lot of old bow saws, is they don't have that taper. So Silky's basically thought of everything.
Now, if you want to be one of the first people to get your hands on one of these Outback saws, go through the link in the description and pre-order yours at CanadianPreparedness.com. These are, like most things nowadays, going to be in limited supply in light of supply chain disruptions. We are planning on shipping these out in early June, most likely late May, but I'm going to say early June for sure. So go and pick yours up right now. Unfortunately, we don't have any discounts on these because they are going to be in such high demand, but definitely going to want to get your hands on one of these for the summer camping season. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy these types of videos. Canadian Prepper out.